Hello, Year 5. I am going to be taking over from Mr. Wang and continuing with The Firework-Maker's Daughter by Philip Pullman. With Mr. Wang, you had reached the end of chapter 4, and I want you to just think to yourself, where had Lila arrived at the end of chapter 4? I'll give you a moment. Okay. We know that she had arrived at the grotto of the fire fiend, which is like a demon, and obviously made out of fire because it's the fire fiend. And we know that she wants to be a firework maker. So let's see what happens as she enters. Chapter 5. She pulled herself up with shaking arms and stepping inside. The floor was baking hot and the air was hardly breathable. She walked on, deeper into the earth, deeper than the moonlight went, and heard nothing but silence, and saw nothing but dark rock. Harsh, barren walls rose to left and right. She felt them with her bleeding hands. Then the tunnel opened out into a great cavern. She had never seen anything so gloomy and empty of life, and her heart sank because she had come all this way and there was nothing here. She sank to the floor, and as if that were a signal, a little flame licked out of the rocky wall for an instant and went out. So you can see the way you're getting an image and you're visualizing what this cavern is like. And there's a lot of show not tell with Lila's heart sinking. So what would that mean if her heart is sinking? And then we build up, then another in a different place, then another. Then the earth shook and groaned, and with a harsh grating sound, the rocky wall tore itself open, and suddenly the cavern was full of light. What's that technique when we give objects that are non-human, human-like features? The earth shook and groaned. So it's personification. And think about how does that make you feel? What image comes into your mind when you hear the earth shook and groaned? What does that mean? What did the ground do if it groaned? Lila sat up, astonished, as red fire and flame licked and crackled at the rocky roof. All of a sudden, the grotto was alive with movement as 1,000 fire imps swarmed upwards to dash themselves against the rock and smash into 1,000 more as a wide carpet of boiling lava spread from side to side as the clang and clash of mighty hammers and anvils rang with the rhythm of a great fire dance. So we can almost hear a lot of sounds. We've got words like smash, we've got clang, clash, so you can almost hear the metal and you can almost hear the fire blazing. The cavern was full of light and noise. Thousands upon thousands of little fire spirits toiled and blazed and swung hammers and ran to and fro with handfuls of sparks and swarmed against the rocky wall till it melted and slid downwards like soft wax. So brilliant simile of the way you're comparing something that's so strong and solid and hard and how it then becomes like soft wax because of the heat. Then the greedy creatures plunged their red hands into it and lifted up the bubbling sulfur to their tiny mouths and ate until another mass of rock slid down and smothered them. And then into the heart of the light and the fire and the noise leapt Razvani himself, the great fire fiend, whose body was a mass of flame and whose face a mask of scorching light. Thousands of fire imps scattered as he landed, and even the blazing flames bowed down to him, and so did Lila. In a voice like the roar of a forest fire, Razvani spoke. "By what right have you come to my grotto?" She swallowed hard. It was difficult to breathe because she seemed to be taking fire into her lungs as well as air. I want to be a firework maker, she managed to say. He laughed a great laugh. "You? Never. And what do you want from me?" "Royal sulfur," she gasped. And at that he slapped his sides and laughed even harder, and a chorus of jeers and shrieks of merriment burst from all the fire imps. So think about what the word merry means, and that's the root word to merriment. So they're actually feeling really happy and actually laughing at Lila's expense. Royal sulfur? Did you hear that? Oh, that's good. That's funny. Well, speak, girl. Have you the 3 gifts? Lila could only shrug and shake her head. She could hardly speak. I don't know what they are, she said. So what are you going to exchange for the royal sulfur? He roared. I don't know. You were going to give nothing in exchange? So she had nothing to say. She bowed her head. So once again, we've got show not tell. She's bowing her head. Think about how she's feeling in that moment. There are people laughing and jeering. The fire fiends are laughing and jeering at her. She doesn't have the 3 gifts. And here she is asking for her wish to be granted to become a firework maker. And actually, she's got nothing to give in exchange. Well, you've come this far, said the fire fiend. And there's no going back. Now you're here, you must walk in the flames like every other firework maker. I expect you've brought some magic water from my cousin, the goddess of lake. So the goddess of lake, who we know that Chulak and Hamlet went to visit during the full moon ceremony and to request for their wishes. Lila was not aware of that, and so she hasn't gone to the goddess of lake, who turns out to be Razvani's cousin. You've brought nothing for me, but I don't suppose you've forgotten to take care of yourself. Better drink it quickly. I've got nothing, Leela gasped. I didn't know about the magic water or the 3 gifts. I just wanted to be a firework maker. And I'll be a good one, Razvani. I invented self-igniting crackle dragons and shimmering coins. I've learned everything my father could teach me. It's all I want, to be a firework maker like him. But Razvani merrily laughed. Show her the ghosts, he cried, and clapped his blazing hands. Instantly, a crack shivered its way down the rock wall, and out of the opening came a procession of ghosts, each attended by fire demons. The ghosts were so pale and transparent that Lila could hardly see them, but she heard them wailing. And that's the image of the ghosts. Okay, so we are going to stop here halfway. We're going halfway into chapter 5. And perhaps what you could do is you could write a prediction about what you think will happen next to Lila. Remember, she doesn't have the magic water with her. She's gone into sort of Razvani's grotto. What do you think will happen next? Will she be rescued? Will she rescue herself? Or will she get into grave danger? So you decide, perhaps write a prediction or tell somebody in your family prediction about what you think will happen next. And I'll be back with part 2 of chapter 5.